Tonight, the world is in total shock. The cameras are no longer rolling. The lights may be out, but the echoes of backstage events linger on, as Jim Jones's explosive outburst shook the entire building and left Chrissy Lamp in tears. According to witnesses, it was pandemonium. People were shouting, doors were being slammed, security personnel were running. Amid all this turmoil was Chrissy, Jim's longtime ally during his many dramas, who collapsed and wept uncontrollably while uttering unexpected words. "This is no longer possible for me. This is more than mere gossip. This is real-time heartbreak on display." As per various insiders, what descended to the area behind the stage war, kein einfacher Streit. Years of pent-up pain, jealousy, betrayal, and concealed truth erupted simultaneously. A source close to the couple informed reporters that Chrissy appeared as if her world had just fallen apart. No matter what Jim said back there, it hurt. As fans search for answers, social media is in chaos. A leaked clip depicts Jim pacing aggressively and shouting at someone out of view, while Chrissy is shown crying, holding her face and begging him to stop. Her voice, broken and desperate, is now trending everywhere. The Charprefery has already reached #1 globally. The question everyone is asking, however, is what drove Jim Jones to this point? And of greater significance, what did Chrissy hear that caused her to break down in front of all those people? As insiders are saying, this was more than just a meltdown. It was an admission that had the potential to ruin all they had built together. The evening began just like any other major event in the hip-hop scene. Flashing cameras, outfits from top designers, and grins concealing tales that no one had the courage to share. Jim Jones had only recently exited the moment following an unexpected act that left the crowd bellowing. However, nobody anticipated what would transpire when the lights dimmed. Backstage, the atmosphere changed. According to witnesses, Jim's mood changed in seconds. He transitioned from sharing laughs with the crew to marching down the corridor in a fury, fists bunched and expression tense. Several individuals attempted to converse with him. It was impossible to get through for anyone. The tension was palpable. A whisper came from one insider. There was more than just anger. It was agony. He had just been triggered by something, and he was going all out. Chrissy trailed closely, attempting to soothe him. Her voice was low but desperate as she pleaded, caught on camera. "Jim, please not like this," she said, trying to grab his arm, but he jerked away from her and began pacing in circles like a man possessed. A crew member's phone captured a leaked clip showing the moment everything collapsed. Jim yelled, "I'm tired of pretending. I am finished with silence." Individuals became immobile. For years, the whole backstage was silent. Supporters had caught sight of the tension in bits and pieces. Within the two minor arguments, emotional instances on reality TV, and enigmatic posts suggesting that things weren't always flawless. But no one anticipated this. A security guard, who later requested to remain anonymous, stated that he had never witnessed Jim so furious before. He recounted how Jim had punched a wall, overturned equipment, shouted about treachery and folks grinning at him while acting deceitfully when he wasn't looking. At that moment, Chrissy's voice pierced the din. "Jim, bitte hör auf!" She shouted, "You're frightening me!" However, the cameras recorded something eerie. Jim's turning toward her gaze, which was a blend of fury and heartbreak. Although he did not strike her, the impact of his words was greater than that of any physical assault. "I discovered everything," he said quietly before yelling, "Everything, Chrissy!" "You believe I'm unaware of what's been happening without my knowledge." The room went completely silent. Even security was frozen. Chrissy's complexion drained of color. Her hands began to tremble. Although she attempted to speak, her voice broke. "Jim, no matter what you believe you heard." He interrupted her. "Don't tell me lies now. Avoid that action." Although his voice was low, it held a deadly calm. A calm so profound that it renders all nearby afraid to breathe. At that moment, Chrissy began to cry. She was not executing. She was not pretending. It was unrefined, genuine, and emotionally devastating sentiment. According to witnesses, she concealed her face and murmured a barely audible comment before falling onto one of her arms of a friend. Shortly thereafter, a loud crash reverberated from behind the curtain. A chair had been tossed across the room by Jim. Crew members hurried in to calm things down, but Jim continued to pace while muttering unsettling comments. "Everyone thinks I'm blind. They all see me as weak, but I'm aware of everything now." In just a few minutes, the clip was leaked. A person who attended the event uploaded a 14-second clip depicting the aftermath. Chrissy crying, Jim yelling at security, and chaos erupting everywhere. It became viral in less as long as an hour. Twitter exploded. Die Fangemeinde begann umgehend mit Spekulationen. Some claimed it was a matter of money. Others insisted it revolved around loyalty, claiming that a person near them had turned against Jim and revealed something he was unprepared to confront. Within minutes, the hashtag #Jim and Chrissy skyrocketed to the top of the trending list as users inundated the timeline with theories, screenshots, and past interviews in an attempt to solve the mystery. The true bombshell was a leaked voice note that surfaced online. In the footage purportedly filmed just moments prior to the argument, you can hear a voice resembling Jim's saying, "I saw the messages. The calls reached my ears. Don't treat me like I'm stupid." A female voice can be heard in the background. Supporters are convinced it's Chrissy. React gently, it was not as it appeared. Then the audio stops. The 5-second clip went viral. Fans inundated the comments with demands for answers. Which messages? Whom is she phoning? Is this the reason Jim lost it backstage? Speculations ran rampant, ranging from covert arrangements to past romances. 2 acts of treachery by individuals who were surprising culprits. According to an insider who claims to be close to the couple and spoke to the Shade Room, Jim found something that changed everything. It wasn't solely about cheating. It was a matter of trust concerning who had been spreading falsehoods on the blogs and disclosing details of their private affairs. He feels as though everyone is manipulating him, including those he loves the most. With the video continuing to circulate, Chrissy's emotional breakdown became the iconic moment of the night. Outside the venue, paparazzi captured her as she was escorted into a black SUV. Her cosmetics were smudged, and she was still weeping. She didn't answer when asked if she and Jim were okay. Before driving off into the night, she merely whispered, "Please, no more questions." Jim, in the meantime, remained at the back. According to sources, he declined to go and insisted on knowing who had recorded the dispute and shared it online. "Ich will, dass jedes Telefon überprüft wird." At one point, he shouted before his teammates pulled him aside. As per another witness, Jim told his manager afterwards, "I won't hold back next time. I promise I won't." The phrase "next time I won't hold back" sent fans into a frenzy. Handelte es sich eine Drohung, eine Zusicherung oder etwas Unheimlicheres? More footage surfaced by midnight. This time, security camera footage shows Jim sitting alone backstage with his head in his hands. You can hear him whispering, "I gave everything for this, all of it." Shortly thereafter, a person comes up to him, allegedly another artist, and attempts to comfort him. Jim glances up and states, "When I'm down, they all laugh. But just wait to see what happens next." While fans analyzed every moment, Chrissy finally spoke up, but not verbally. On Instagram, she shared a solitary black screen and wrote as a caption, "I tried." Just 2 words, without emojis or explanations, were enough to send shockwaves across the whole industry. Famous individuals began to add their voices. Camilla from Love and Hip Hop remarked, "Been there, sis. Keep your strength up." Yan Dandy shared a mysterious story that included the words, "Some truths hurt more than lies ever could." Then, in a flash, it became clear to all that this was no mere chance altercation. This was a matter of personal concern. This took years to develop. But what set it all off? What did Jim discover that caused him to blow up like that? And which secret was Chrissy too scared to confess? A newly leaked message from an anonymous account claiming to be part of Jim's camp suggests that he discovered something about one of her friends. Moreover, the treachery is more profound than anyone realizes. And just when the internet believed it couldn't become any messier, ein weiteres Video stand kurz vor der Veröffentlichung. A video that would turn the whole narrative on its head and show that perhaps, just perhaps, Jim wasn't the only one who had been harboring secrets all along. In the wake of the blast, New Yorkers rose to a state of disarray. The metropolis that never sleeps was abuzz with a single query. What was the real story behind the scenes involving Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamb? Every gossip site published its own take on the story. Each influencer had their theory, and every fan rushed to piece the puzzle together. Yet, amidst all the commotion, a single reality was emerging with increasing clarity. This was more than just a fight. This was a fallout that took years to develop. .tmz released what they referred to as the second angle at 7:45 a.m. A newly filmed backstage clip from the corner of the dressing room revealed something. The initial video did not show Chrissy on the phone just before Jim's meltdown. She spoke in a calm and even soothing voice. "No, I'll take care of it." "Auf diese Weise kann es nicht herausfinden," sagte sie. Seconds later, the door swings open and Jim's voice echoes. "What is there to find out?" Jim's voice is loud and resonant. "What is there to find out?" Subtitles weren't necessary for fans. The panic was palpable to them. Chrissy stood still, her phone still in her grasp. Ending the call quickly, she whispered, "It's not what you think." However, Jim's face conveyed everything. He had seen more than enough already. In just a few minutes, the clip became a viral sensation. Discover what began to trend on Twitter, with supporters examining each frame as if they were detectives. Some people swore that Chrissy was concealing something more profound than anyone knew. Some came to her defense, arguing that the video had been edited to portray her as guilty. However, then the leak occurred that brought silence to all. According to a source close to the production, the name of the person on the other end of that phone call is revealed. A source familiar with the production revealed that Chrissy was not speaking to a random friend on the other end of that phone call. It is claimed that she was talking on the phone with someone from Jim's inner circle, a long-established business and associate he trusted, who had been around since the Dipset days. The insider stated that when Jim discovered he had lost it, his feelings were not merely a result of jealousy, but rather a consequence of betrayal from both sides. By midday, the internet had gone wild. Jim's Instagram was inundated with fans seeking answers. His most recent post, featuring a photo of him in action, included the caption, "Family over fame became a war zone." Thousands of comments, with half supporting him and the other half criticizing Chrissy. "She did you dirty, bro." One individual stated, "You deserve better." Another one responded, "We don't know the truth. Don't put her on the cross yet. Put behind the screens." The truth was more unsightly than anyone suspected. Just hours before the show, an anonymous source who claims to be part of Jim's security team leaked a series of texts that are said to be between Jim and one of his close friends. The messages stated, "Jim, her behavior has been odd. If I see him backstage, I won't restrain myself. Buddy, are you really certain this is the place for it? Jim, if he has the guts to sneak around, he can confront me." That was the ignition before the blast. A crew member was caught up with by reporters who depicted the moments just prior to the cameras starting to roll. Chrissy was walking back and forth. She appeared to be nervous. When Jim returned to that spot, she continued to check her phone. It was as if a tempest had entered. Then, out of the blue, a second leak emerged online. An unclear audio recording shared by a mysterious Twitter account called @Truth about Chrissy. The tape purportedly recorded Jim yelling, "You think I wouldn't discover the calls, the studio meetings, and Chrissy's trembling voice that followed?" It was all business, Jim. Only business. There was a division among the fans. Some believed Chrissy was innocent and ensnared in a misunderstanding. Some thought that she had transgressed an unforgivable boundary. You shouldn't conceal phone calls from your man, particularly when it's with his friends. A tweet that went viral stated, however, just as the internet believed they had it figured out, the story took a more sinister turn. A new source emerged, a woman who asserts she is part of Chrissy's inner circle. She informed Hollywood Unlocked that the dispute involved more than just loyalty. It concerned exposure. There was a threat to reveal major information concerning Chrissy. Jim discovered it just before his performance. For that reason, he snapped. She declined to specify what that something significant was when questioned, but several hours later, a collection of enigmatic diamonds surfaced online. Screenshots reportedly demonstrated an attempt at blackmail against Chrissy, with threats to make public past recordings. She failed to pay. The note said, "You think Jim won't find out? I will guarantee that he does. There are 24 hours available to you." That disclosure transformed everything. The story turned suddenly. Fans started questioning, was Chrissy truly the villain, or was she the victim of a setup? Jim, in the meantime, stopped talking. No posts, no stories, nothing at all. His silence was deafening for a man known to voice his opinions. It was at that point that speculation began about his departure from New York to Miami for some head clearing. However, later on that evening, a fan shared a video from outside a Miami lounge depicting Jim surrounded by his entourage and still showing signs of tension. As a journalist yelled, "Are you and Chrissy done for good?" Jim halted, faced the camera, and stated icily, "Next time, I won't hold back." That single clip garnered more than 6 million views in less than an hour. On the other hand, Chrissy was absent from sight. Berichten zufolge hat ihr Team alle ihre Auftritte am Wochenende abgesagt. According to friends, she has been utterly devastated. A friend mentioned to the neighborhood gossip that she hasn't ceased crying since it occurred. Although she loves Jim, she fears that he won't forgive her. Insider information suggests that she has been attempting to contact him, but he has not responded to any of her calls. Sperrte sie. The source disclosed every number and every app. He claimed he needs space, but everyone knows that when Jim says that, it's never a good sign. With the escalation of the drama, fans started to unearth past interviews and instances that now appeared to be warning signs. In a resurfaced clip from Love and Hip Hop, Jim stated, "If I ever find out that someone close to me betrayed me, I won't be able to look at them the same way again." The line became a viral sensation. Once more, annotated with the words, "He meant it." On the second night, tensions boiled over. An enigmatic Instagram Live appeared, allegedly from one of Jim's producers, featuring a dimly lit studio. Jim's voice could be heard in the background, furious, saying, "Everybody's fake." Everyone plays both sides. Then, in a hushed tone, a voice responds, "You can't let this destroy you, bro." Supporters flooded the comments section, convinced that the meltdown was occurring in real time. After a few seconds, the stream cut off, but this was sufficient to ignite another tumultuous surge as social media went out of control. Famous personalities began to pick sides. Safri tweeted, "Dude, when trust is lost, love has no value." Young Jock wrote, "Never undervalue the strength of wounded pride." In the meantime, Erika Mina made a comment on a gossip page. "Manchmal bewahren Frauen Geheimnisse nur auf, den Mann zu schützen, den sie lieben." Just that one remark was enough to put fans into detective mode, as they were convinced Erika was withholding information. The true blow, however, came from Chrissy herself. Just when fans believed she would remain silent indefinitely, she resurfaced on Instagram Live with red eyes, voice shaking, stifling sobs. She spoke gently. "I never intended for it to reach this point. Ich habe ihn nicht verraten. Before the situation deteriorated, I attempted to repair something. Aber jetzt..." Sie brach den Satz ab und wischte sich die Augen. "I don't even know if there's anything left to salvage now." After just 3 minutes, the live ended suddenly. However, the internet remained awake. Her comments section was inundated with messages of affection, animosity, and bewilderment from fans. Some implored Jim to grant her forgiveness. Others charged her with manipulation. A single tweet captured it perfectly. "This has gone beyond mere drama. Publicly occurring here is heartbreak." While Chrissy was crying on live, a new video was already circulating in group chats and private servers. A clip that would alter everything, supposedly captured by a concealed camera behind the scenes. It revealed a shocking turn of events. No one anticipated that there was someone else in the room the whole time. An individual whose existence could change the course of the entire narrative regarding what truly went down that evening. And when fans figured out who it was, the internet fell silent because it wasn't just some random face. It was a person Jim had more trust in than his family and their secret. It was on the verge of transforming this love story into a conflict. The internet froze when the new clip dropped. No one batted an eyelid. No one moved the scroll. The kind of footage that not only broke the story, but completely shattered it. Jim and Chrissy Midru were shown backstage at a shaky camera angle, their voices echoing off the walls made of concrete. However, it was not their words that drew everyone's focus. The shadow lurked in the corner. The whole time another person was present. There is an observer, there is a recorder. And when that individual finally appeared in the frame, fans went wild. It was none other than Jules Santana, a longtime friend of Jim, his Dipset brother, and someone who had been like family for over 2 decades. In an instant, the internet exploded. In just a few minutes, Jowls became the trending topic on all platforms. Supporters were shrieking, "Hold on! Was he the person who spoke to Chrissy on the phone?" Others called for explanations. What was Dwells doing there? What prevented him from stopping it? What was the reason for his recording? Only 23 seconds in length, the footage depicted Dwells standing to the side with a tense expression. Chrissy faced him at one moment and murmured, "Please tell him." Before Dwells had the chance to say anything, Jim yelled, "Don't speak for her." "So it's you two, huh? You were involved in this." Dwells raised his hands in an attempt to calm him, but Jim wouldn't hear it. "You think I don't know that you've been?" But the greatest shock was yet to arrive. A YouTube channel that remains unnamed shared a post alleging to show a leaked group chat involving Chrissy Joels and some other insiders. In the messages, a person with the initials JS sent a voice note stating, "We just need to protect her before it all comes out." Jim is unable to determine the origin of it. A subsequent message was sent. He is already suspicious. Maintain his calmness until we are prepared. The leak caused everything to blow up often. Fans accused Joy of assisting Chrissy in concealing something significant, but what was it? Some speculated that it revolved around finances, a botched business transaction, misappropriated royalties, or undisclosed side agreements. Some murmured about a more sinister issue, a personal treachery that transcended music. Then another source emerged, a close friend of Jim's who communicated with the Jasmine brand. As per their accounts, Jim found out that Chrissy and Joel's had been clandestinely meeting for several months, attempting to resolve a legal problem concerning a property that is registered under Jim's name. The source wasn't romantic said, although it didn't look good. To prevent him from panicking, they kept it from him. However, upon learning the truth, he felt caught off guard, as if everyone had been plotting against him without his knowledge. That one quotation mark changed everything once more. All of a sudden, the fans split into factions, partially enraged at Dwells and Chrissy for their secrecy, partly infuriated with Jim for not listening to them. A fan tweeted that they were attempting to safeguard him, but he transformed it into a conflict. Another person commented, "Nah, if you have to hide something, it's already a betrayal." As the truth came to light online, so did the individuals who are the focus of it. Chrissy once more fell completely silent. Her last post, featuring a black heart, received more than 100,000 comments. Some labeled her as manipulative, while others referred to her as a victim. However, the photo that shattered hearts worldwide arrived a few hours later. A paparazzi photo of Chrissy by herself outside her building, sitting on the steps in a hoodie with her face obscured and a phone resting on her lap. She appeared to be lost. According to insiders, she has been pleading with Jim to converse with her, but he has not replied. He is furious, yet the situation is not the only reason. One friend informed Hollywood Unlocked he feels let down by those who are nearest to him. Fragte unverschlossen? He feels let down by those nearest to him. He stated, "They were aware of my triggers. They were aware of my experiences and still treated me like that." In the meantime, Dwells attempted to vindicate himself. He uploaded a mysterious story. At times, silence is distorted, but those who are genuine understand the reality. That was unhelpful. Supporters accused him of manipulating the circumstances, and within hours, his comments were inundated with snake emote. Then, with no warning, another video was leaked. This one from a completely different perspective. It demonstrated what transpired following the outburst. After security managed to separate all individuals, Chrissy was visible, sobbing uncontrollably and whispering, "I didn't cheat. I did not tell a lie. My intention was to assist." One of her friends attempted to console her by saying that he would understand once things were calm. However, Chrissy shook her head. With tears in her eyes, she replied, "No. He will not forgive this one. Not this time." At the end of the video, she was seen collapsing into a chair and whispering, "I lost him." The internet was shattered by that one line. Famous people started to respond immediately. With the caption, "Sending love and light," Yandi Smith posted a prayer hands emoji. Erika Mina schrieb, "Wenn ein Mann sich das Herz bricht, ist das lauter als seine Wut." In the meantime, Fat Joe made a comment on a gossip post that read, "Man, I hope my bro and sis figure this out." There is too much history to allow it to burn. However, Jim's silence spoke the loudest. Until he unexpectedly uploaded a